Hello everybody, this is me Kevin, and today we are going to do another weird prediction, and that is between President Donald Trump versus Kennedy in the 2020 scenario. Now, if you guys don't know, John F. Kennedy was the 35th President of the United States, and he served from 1961 to 1963. And the reason for that little small gap in the 1 year is because he was assassinated. Now, I'm making this scenario because John F. Kennedy is my favorite president. So I wonder how would he do against Donald Trump? Let's say he was taken through a portal to now. There was this weird thing where he was teleported to our time and November 22nd before he was assassinated. So let's see. How would that carry over? Let's say a chance to campaign. How would that carry over now? Although Kennedy's never won California, and I also think Washington or one of those two states. Two of the states here that I just picked, he didn't win, but I see Kennedy winning those states, and, because Democrats usually win those states, and I see Kennedy also winning those states. Wait, I'm not going to touch... Nah, I'm kidding, I'm touching that. Because although Trump won those, Wisconsin and Michigan, I still see Kennedy winning those states. Yeah, and most of these states that I'm filling in, Kennedy wasn't able to win, those states. Now, Kennedy did win Massachusetts, and I think Rhode Island, Connecticut. He did win, I think, New Jersey, Delaware, and I also think Maryland. D.C. wasn't around yet when he was running for 1960. Now, I have to point out that when John F. Kennedy was running in the 1960 election, it was a close election, but I don't see it being that close here. Now, Kennedy would win Iowa. I see that happening. And Trump would have a more vulnerable state because John F. Kennedy is a popular president. Now, although Kennedy does have some of the same flaws like Donald Trump, with the womanizing and all that, but except the difference is that Kennedy never really harassed them, unlike the president. But, yep. Got to film this and this. So as you see, Kennedy's already at 265. Now, I'm going to fill in some of the red states that I don't see Kennedy flipping. Actually, I'm going to not touch that. Now, as you see here, this map isn't that filled. Now, I'm also going to not touch that as well. Now, right here, it's not that safe for Trump to win at all. Now, I see Kennedy winning North Carolina, and he already won the election, because it has voted for a Democrat before, and I also see it becoming more and more Democratic, and has become more of a toss-up. So I see that happening. I also see Kennedy winning West Virginia, because although it hasn't voted for a Democrat president for a while now, it used to be a Democratic stronghold. It used to, be something for the Democrats to take, and I see Kennedy winning it back. I also see him winning Pennsylvania, because I see him appealing to many of those voters. Now, Ohio, I see going to Kennedy as well, because of his... I just see Kennedy winning it, and Trump, actually, wait, no. It has voted for Democrat other times before, but I would also like to point out that some of the things Kennedy, Kennedy views were actually kind of conservative, but he was more like a conservative/liberal, in a sense. Although I may see him, more leaning liberal than leaning conservative, but... Yep, there's that. So, those are most of the states. Alaska, I don't see voting for Kennedy. It hasn't really voted for a Republican. It never voted for a Democrat, except once. And that was in 1964. And that was the second time Alaska participated in an election. And that was it. So, that's what I think. Now, Georgia, I see going to Kennedy, because because I see Kennedy going out there, and he probably would have found out the Civil Rights Bill was passed in 1964. He was the one that suggested we have a Civil Rights Bill, and it was Johnson that carried it over after he was assassinated. So I see Kennedy bringing that up, and I was like, yeah, I got this, and then something like that. I don't know. But I still see winning these two states because he did want to. Because here's the thing, he did want to. He did sympathize with the African American community. Now there are a few reasons why he didn't really do much in his first 2 years, but in his final years he kind of did much. Now he did do other civil rights works as well, but let me explain, because he wanted to get the votes, the white votes, and because okay, so the South was still segregationist around the time he was going to run for re-election, and he didn't want to lose the South. That was something that that has been Democrat for a long time. So he needed those votes because the Midwest and all that's kind of hard to get, and the North was also kind of hard, but not that hard enough. But the South, he needed those votes for the South as well, and he didn't want to split the Democratic Party. And also, I'd also like to point out that Kennedy wasn't that he didn't know the predicament, he didn't know the hostility between the African American community and the segregationists and segregation in general. But he did but when he just didn't know enough. And this kind of caused conflicts between him and Jackie Robinson, but Kennedy then knew what was going on. He started understanding, especially in in 1963, he had a bigger understanding. Yeah, because of the Birmingham and all that. And so he had a bigger understanding, and then 1 month after that he told Congress to pass a civil rights bill, and yeah, the rest is history, where he gets assassinated and then the bill's passed. But the bill passed, but I still see him winning Georgia. I see him winning Georgia, which has become more Democratic, and Florida, which has become a bit more Democratic. Now, Texas is a bit of a issue, but it is growing more and more Democratic, and Kennedy's has some conservative views. A combination of that, he wins Texas, which is a big blow. Now, Idaho, I still see going to Republican. I still see going to Republican. Arizona, though, I see going to Democrats, because it is growing more and more Democratic. Utah, Montana, I see him winning, because I see him winning Montana here. As you see here, this is a big landslide. I see him winning Missouri. Although, he has some of the conservative things, like I said. Alabama, I see him winning. I see most of the black vote coming out to vote for him. I see that happening, and I see most of this happening. Now, Oklahoma, that's a tough one, but at the end of the day, it goes red. Nebraska. Nebraska. Let's see. Nebraska. He would win 1. While the Republicans win 4. Now, as you see here, this is kind of like a landslide. But as you see here, Kennedy wins most of these states because he's a very popular president. Now, although there have been a lot more revelations of Kennedy than Well, actually, no, that, I don't know, but, like, I see Kennedy just winning. Like, he's a lot more popular than Trump is, and, like, actually, recently, like, around 2013 or something, there was a poll conducted on who was, like, the most, like, on the best modern president, and the most popular was voted Kennedy. Kennedy won that poll. Reagan was second. I don't know the others, but even recently, like, Kennedy was still on a high on the list. Like, there was another poll, and although I don't think it was number one, he was still pretty high up there. So he's still really popular, and I just see him winning, getting most of the black vote out, but also many of the older votes to come out and vote for him. You know, I just see that happening. Like, I just see that happening. And he isn't that, like, he, like, I don't know, I just see him being a more sensible candidate, and I don't think he would fall into, like, Donald Trump's traps or tricks. So that's what I see happening. But yeah, that's what I see happening, and as you see, this is the numbers, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you later. And I'll also do one on Trump versus a current leader right now, or a current congressman, or Representative Joe Kennedy III. But that will be another video, maybe later. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later.